Emily Brooks sits every morning at the coffee shop nearby. The street vibes are intense, and she sits calm as she orders an espresso with love. Adam Goldberg is a waiter, young and shy, and every moment he sits 2 tables away from Emily, secretly desiring her beauty and lovable personality. One day, he asks his boss for paper and heart-shaped cookies. He writes on the letter, "Emily, I love you, although I'm not sure if you want it." Emily smiles when she sees the letter, surprisingly, on her table. She comes to him and asks him why he's always hiding, to which he answers with humor, "I don't come to anyone out of the dark shadows." Emily laughs. When the angry boss comes and tells Adam to go back to work, she scolds at the boss to protect Adam's rights, reminding that any human needs love more than money. The boss fires the Adam and walks away in rage. It started raining, and Emily asked Adam if he can take her home. Adam agreed and drove the car with her next to him. He asks her if she wants to see his home to spend more time with a handsome guy. She laughs and then declares that she agrees. Adam parked the car next to a little neglected house with a window cracked. She gets shocked at first, asking Adam why he lives in such a messy environment. Adam exposed that he needs her to stay with him because this house is shared with 2 other boys and a guide who tells them what to do. He reveals tragically that he was diagnosed with high-functioning autism and tells her that if she lives with him, at least for a week, it shall break a long-standing barrier between autistic people and normal ones with no special needs. He also says that he's so lonely that he feels like he was born for nothing. But all of a sudden, Emily holds his face gently and says out loud she agrees to break the barrier, as long as he does a simple favor for her. He competes in a cooking race by making the world's best coffee. Adam and Emily, both wet from the rain, come into the neglected hostel for special needs. The guide suspiciously asks who the girlfriend is. Emily introduces herself and begs the guide to make sure the staff don't force her out until the week ends. The guide angrily declares he will phone the hostel's manager, Albert Danish. As the guide speeds to Albert on the phone, remarking he won't take responsibility for a normal person in front of the superiors and the government, Albert insists he first calms down and stops shouting. Albert told the guide to let her in and make her feel at home, as for 1 week he will take responsibility, since he wants Adam to live a joyful and independent life, just like his son, who was also an autistic person, managing to do the same thing and enjoy the comfort of love, unconditional, and against the rule of iron and harsh spades of isolation. The guide told her she will have a room of her own to sleep in for 1 week, as one of the only 2 girls living in the hostel. However, the guide reminds it is only for 1 week, in secret from the government and welfare, and that if she makes a mess of it with 1 simple mistake, he must throw her out and call the police. She agreed, telling him that she'll do anything to help Adam, and there is nothing to worry about doing the right thing. She then comes into her room as Adam awaits for her on her bed. Adam tells her that he applied through his manager to start the cooking contest of Gloria's Coffee on TV as a contestant through Albert, his manager. Emily congratulates him and gives Adam a kiss before handing him a recipe and asking him to practice it with her by making that recipe every morning before the show is on air. Adam receives a phone call from the judge, who is no other than Gloria herself. Gloria asks him to sign a form so he will participate, telling him that the manager secretly organized it for him to move on in life together with Emily. After he signs the form with Emily's help, she congratulates him as the 2 kiss. The hostel's guide called them all for dinner, giving each one of the 7 homies a bowl of soup, chicken wings, and rice covered with barbecue. Emily asks if this meal is a joke-only meal. The guide tells her that in Africa there are no jokes around the food table. She laughs, and the guide's angry stare softens into a rather nice guy, showing some empathy despite his concerns. As night comes, Adam and Emily sit on a sofa in Adam's room as Adam's roommate Gerald comes in. Gerald is a high-functioning autistic guy, but he has OCD, being obsessed with every little detail he can think of, and he was also emotionally complicated. Gerald asked twice, or even 3 times repeatedly, "Adam, who is that girl?" Adam told him to respect her because she's doing him a favor. She smiled and said it's okay to ask these questions, as she will never judge a person for something that isn't his own fault. Gerald showed her his MacBook computer, showing her song covers and generated artworks that he creates on a daily basis. She touches Gerald on his shoulder and tells him she likes creative people. She reveals to them both that she played Sims in the past, which is also a creative game. She opened her own computer, which she took out of her bag, and offered them both to play Sims with her, while bonding as a trio of cool guys. Adam and Gerald happily agree, as the trio chat, and the 2 boys watch her screen filled with the Sims game she likes the most. The guide then called the pupils for a kitchen talk. The homies come, as they see a table with sponge cakes and a load of fruits and fruit juices. A low-functioning boy named Billy asks why there's no Coca-Cola, while singing random songs with no sense in the lyrics but only rage. The guide tells him angrily that if he makes these noises, he won't eat cake ever. Emily then came to him, sang him a song back called "Fly Me to the Moon." This song managed to calm Billy down, and Emily, in her empathetic message, tells the guide to let him eat cake. The guide tells her she's a good person, and that if the government knows she is present, she is legally doomed. Morning came with lots of sunshine. Another guide, this time a female one, woke everyone up to work, asking Adam what time he'll go to his TV show, to which he answered at 10 a.m. until noon at 3 p.m. Emily asked if she can go watch him and be with him, to which the guide smiles and confirms she allows it. Just on time, Adam and Emily enter the studio inside a high-rise building as they meet the other contestants and the show's host, Dorian. Dorian explains, before putting the camera on live recording, that this competition is meant to unleash their creativity and that he has high expectations for the best food items. As the camera goes on and records the room on live as the world watches, Adam successfully made a large-sized coffee with Oreos blended in. The drink looked so beautiful and impressive that everyone, including those watching live TV elsewhere, were all extremely shocked by that talent from an autistic man. Adam receives first place in this round, called in for the finals of the 2 winners, which was arranged for Tuesday morning. After that, Adam and Emily walk in the park and chat romantically and with humor while walking hand in hand. A guide phones Adam, asking him what time he'll be back with Emily. He replies that they are walking in the park for 1 hour and they will be back for lunch. Emily takes Adam's phone gently, asking the guide if he saw how Adam became the star of their hostel. The guide then gladly loudly congratulated him through the phone, asking him to meet Albert this evening and tell him about that ultimately beautiful success. Albert sat in his office in the meanwhile, as he received a phone call from the welfare agent across the line. The welfare agent asked him if the rumors of Emily harassing the homies there are true or not. The protective Albert fussed that she only meets the homies outside of their hostel. The agent is partially convinced, wishing Albert a good day and telling him not to hide anything before finishing his call. The homies all come back for their lunch, as a male guide made them fish and fries with Thousand Island sauce on top. At 5 p.m. in the evening, Adam goes to meet Albert in the office. Albert asks him if he loves Emily. Out of genuine love and care, he nods and says yes. Albert is shown to be impressed, telling a story about how he did the same thing once, and the guides threw his girlfriend out of his own doors in a hostel that he was in once, and that the welfare fired him as he came back to working with autistic people just because he convinced the welfare it was a mistake to rectify. Evelyn, the social worker, comes into the office. She tells Albert in front of Adam that the welfare are suspecting the staff and Albert himself for letting a beautiful girl harass the pupils as against the rules and even the law. The social worker also tells Adam that the welfare want to talk to him tomorrow morning, which is exactly when the contest semi-finals is. Albert pauses the panicking social worker, announcing that he will go talk to them instead of Adam. Adam thanks him with tears from his eyes, telling Albert he never felt such love and meaning for his life before Emily broke the normal code for him. During dinner, a guide walks in, asking Emily to stop harassing him. Emily defended herself and Adam's respect, reminding that for a week, it's her home as well. The paranoid guide told Emily angrily she must get out of his hostel tonight and say goodbye to the hostel, as it's not a home for a sexual addict. Adam, for the first time, stood up and threatened the guide, "Leave her alone or else." Albert phones the guide, telling him that he is fired because of his angry temper. The guide heads towards the door, telling the pupils he was fired by a dictator, calling Albert a piece of trash. He walked out, assuring he won't say a word about Emily's presence to the welfare agents, but that she must be very careful. Emily goes to her room and cries for unknown reasons. Adam comes to calm her down, but she tells him it wasn't a good idea and that she's afraid of consequences. Adam hugged her and told her that he loved her. Emily asks him if he'll defend her if the welfare find out. Adam sings a lullaby, letting her sleep in peace of mind. Tuesday comes, and Emily and Adam go to the competition again. Making a coffee cake covered with cream, Adam wins first place, as they tell him to come for a final round on Thursday, which is the last day that Emily can spend in his hostel. The welfare agents sit in an office elsewhere and decide to investigate Chi matter personally, even involving police. In the evening, Emily cooks food for the others, making spaghetti with meatballs, which she knows it is Adam's favorite food. In front of everyone, she gives a speech encouraging love over money. Adam cries out of joy, and the male guide also starts crying out of some magic empathy. On Thursday, Emily and Adam go on a bus to reach the finals. A private caller reaches Emily as a cop on her phone asks her why she harassed innocent autistic people from a hostel. Emily denied that, but the cop warned her that they are coming to catch her and make sure Adam is not influenced. As they enter the show, police raid the studio on live camera, surrounding Emily, Adam, the host, and the other contestants with guns. Emily cried and declared aloud that love can be fixed. Adam then comes to her, showing her the small cup of coffee and cream he made for her, with a heart made of coffee milk. The police lower their guns, and the whole world, including the police and the other contestants, applaud for that act of true love. The cops decided to let both Emily and Adam off, and the welfare agents phones Albert, asking him to especially write Emily down as a full-time patient and homie at his hostel. Albert thanks the welfare. The guides build happy bonds with Emily, who showed warm love towards Adam forever.